Welcome to all the racing enthusiasts around the globe joining us for this pre-recorded show. It is recorded early doors on Saturday morning for the Sunday meeting on the 13th of October. And looking forward to this meeting at Hollywoodbets Greyville on the turf track. And of course you can see the settings behind us and the surroundings and the scenery because it is the Pink Drive charity race meeting, and that'll be the focus of the day. And lovely to have Dees Diamond in the studio with me today. And Dees, the end of the day, the charity is the winner, and these are one of these days that we look forward to each and every year.
Yeah, it's a fantastic initiative on Gold Circle, having the Pink Drive race meeting at Hollywoodbets Greyville. And as you mentioned, you know, whilst we enjoy the festivities on course, so all the entertainment, all the bars are open in a Durbanville room, and all the entertainment that will be provided on course. There are lots of prizes to be won as well. It's the Pink Drive that is the beneficiary, and yes, we will be enjoying the day, Sheldon. And make your way to Hollywoodbets Greyville if you're wondering what to do on this Sunday. You'll truly have a good time. Race number 1, we'll get straight into it. It's a maiden plate over 1,200 meters. It is the start of the bar pot. I see the time there is 12:35, so the bar pot begins in race number 1. Just as a guide, with regards to betting, number 4 is a scratching at the time of recording. That is out. 3 at 5-2, 6 at 17-10, and 8 at 4-1. Yeah, this horse, Give Me the Good Life. Cape Town form is good. His local debut over 1,400 meters at the back end of the season was a fair run. But fitness-wise, I don't know how ready he is, Sheldon, and that's where I'm on the fence with him as a possible banker in the bar pot. I'm going to suggest to the guys that just play it safe in leg number 1. You don't want to go out. Cover the horses that are the dangers in the betting, numbers 3 and 8.
That should be the way to go. And I always say to the viewers out there, when horses are coming back from a break and they got this type of Cape form, some decent form lines there, talk to the master. They thought good enough of him to take him to the Cape and try him out there. The local run back, third to Nocturnal Flight, and then the 95-day rest after that. So there's a few questions that need to be answered. But for this type of horse at around about 14-10, he's the type of horse you got to watch him in the preliminaries, watch him go down to the start, all the mannerisms, and you got to focus in and perhaps get the comment from the trainer on course. Maybe one of the presenters will get a comment on his fitness and why he's been off for 95 days. And I think the telltale signs will be there for the trained eye.
Yeah, just keep an eye on him, on his well-being, etc. The dangers, number 3, Dapper. If you're willing to forgive him for his last start where he was fancied, he had valid excuses for that disappointing run on his previous form. He'll have a strong winning chance. And number 8, Sovereign Command, could represent the value in the race. Personally, I think 1,400 meters a bit too far for him last time out when they punted him to favorite. On his sprint form, he must have a strong winning chance if he gets some luck from the draw. So both Sheldon and I agree that number 6, whilst he's the right horse at the top of betting boards, it all depends on how fit, well, and ready he is for the race. If he's vulnerable, then numbers 3 and 8 could be right there to pick up the pieces. Place accumulated time, race number 2, 13-10, 1,400 meters. And this is a maiden plate for fillies and mares. If you want to follow the website for the Pink Drive, just go on to www.pinkdrive.org. So what's happening with this race? Well, before we get into the race, let's have a listen in to Gallop Puller.
Sandbini, nice little filly by Futura. I got it from Beth and Paul Gadsby. She's taking her time. She obviously wants us to go over further, and she's maturing slowly. I haven't pushed her, and I've told the owner she'll need this run now as well, and then we'll go a bit further and we'll find the right distance. But at the same time, she's growing.
Yeah, not much form to recommend there with Gallop Puller's runner. But one thing that we do know is the stable is red hot. Well, Sheldon, I think everything does point to Michael Roberts' runner here, Lady of Distinction. She is a full sister to Gladiatorian, so she has a pedigree. She's been sprinting, she's been running well, and you just have to pull out the form line of her last start, and you'll see that she looks like a 5-star bet. Lady of Destiny of 5, should I say, was a bit unlucky the other day in that Beach Beauty Mile. She moved up like she was going to win it. But taking nothing away from the winner, Careful Got, I thought Rachel Vinegar was masterful there. She didn't let in, and she got the better of Mike de Kock's horse.
It was unbelievable. Destiny of Fire moved up the winner, and then I think shirked it a bit, seemed to drift towards the inside, and that horse of Rachel Vinegar's fought back like an absolute cracker. So well done to the connections there. And getting back to Lady of Distinction, you mentioned the form lines. Hot Lava, West Side Story have come through from the last run. Lucrative we saw come through and win, and
Yes.
then after that has been not the same as at Hollywoodbets Greyville, so we can ignore that form at Hollywoodbets Greyville about Lucrative. She absolutely loves Scottsville. Lady of Distinction, last time out, they went down to the line as one horse. A little bit of luck in the running, should be the horse they have to beat. The interesting runner is number 9, One Path. Second to Golden Chandelier, and then a break after that. Third to Hurricane Cat when drifting off the boards. Is drawn out a little bit deeper. And then number 5, Xena Rose. That also is a horse who's attracted support and has shown improvement. But I think number 6, Lady of Distinction, the way Michael Roberts trains these horses. Third, a second, and a number 1 box is on the cards.
I'm going to make a very hard to beat you. You know, we did label a horse for the last race meeting, something in winter of Michael Roberts, that went ground to beat Frank Robinson's runner. I'm more fat.
Chill in the Air.
Chill in the Air, yeah, Chill in the Air. I'm saying something winter. I'm close.
Close.
Yeah, something about cold.
100%.
Yeah,
as long
so-
as they win, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think, you know, in this race, the way Michael has brought this filly along over 1,200 meters, the fact that the form line is held up, she's bred for the distance. I mentioned full sister to Gladiatorian. I like her a lot. Number 6, Lady of Distinction. I'm going to make up a proper bet in this race. She's already been backed anti-post, 13 to 10 into 11 to 10. Number 5 at 6 to 1 and number 9 at 28 to 10. Number 9 could improve over the distance. Xena Rose is a blinker strike. She's holding her form nicely, especially her last 2 runs. So we'll see if there are dangers. But I'm going to go all in here. Number 6, Lady of Distinction. You want to rubber stamp that?
I'm with you there, Dees. I'm all in. Number 6, Lady of Distinction. And then after that, you've got to look at number 9, One Path, and Xena Rose. But we're all in. Number 6, Lady of Distinction, Michael Roberts and Rachel Vinegar. We'll be quite disappointed if they don't end up in the number 1 box. Next up will be race number 3 over 1,600 meters, and looking at the third race, 13:45 will be the carded off time. The pick 6 will commence in race number 3, and without any further ado, let's take a look at Miss Platina in action. Tamiris down the middle of the course, trying to quicken up Pfizer's between them. Vion's Queen's also trying to get into it, but the grey Miss Platina from Tamiris on the inside. Miss Platina goes a length clear, and this is going to be it. Number 10, Miss Platina, and Samanga Kamalo, the striking grey. Pfizer second, Tamiris I think ran third, and Pilot Flame stayed on for that quartet spot. Fourth,
Miss Platina, yes, she's working. Her work has been very well. Nice filly, right distance. We're taking her back to the grass, claiming the 1.5 kilos on Rachel. She's also on form. I think the horse to beat is Wonderful of Golf-Puller, but Miss Platina has been doing very well in her work. So if everything goes right for her in the race, I think she's a big runner, yeah.
Wonderful, really lovely filly, but she does prefer, I just need to put it out there, she does definitely prefer the polytrack. But we can't keep them in the stable, and unfortunately, merit rated 90, it's very hard to find races for them. So she's going to go out there and do her best. She's run decent races on the grass, but the problem is she doesn't have the best of knees, and she often comes back a little bit jarred up. I'm just hoping for the best. She's got the ability.
Yeah, listen, it's a second run back from Cape Town for me. The first run, probably, it was pretty competitive against the boys. Back against the filly, she definitely come on, and listen, I just want to see a bit of improvement, but work at home is good, and we've given her a bit of help, and yeah, listen, if she improves and she runs into the money, we'll be happy.
Way to burn. Unfortunately, I didn't work her this morning because she left quite a bit of food. Her temperature's okay. I'm just monitoring it. If she's okay tomorrow, I'll give her a sprint up and she'll be fine. She can't lose any fitness in one day, but at this moment in time, I am a little bit worried about her.
Well, Garth Puller has given us the rundown, and that's exactly what we need from these interviews, Dees. He told us about weight to burn. This virus is going around, temperatures going around, so they just backed off her. Obviously, she's not well on the day, they'll take her out. And then it's clear to see that number 4, Wonderful, he mentioned those knee or leg problems in that, so they try and keep her on the poly track. Her turf form, 7 runs for a few placings. So that leads me into the direction of number 2, Miss Platina. After that impressive win last time out, I say she's a better turf horse, and I'm going to lean towards Rachel Venica and Miss Platina, Tinny Prinsloo to take home the glory.
Well, if you just have a look at that last start, it does become, a bit of an equation to try and work out, because there's a lot of collateral form lines here, Sheldon. I mean, Zinekele, Faza, Gorgeous Girl, Wonderful, Zinekele, Miss Platina, Zinekele, Wonderful, Miss Platina. It's just, weight turnarounds, etc. But if you were in the camp of Wonderful and you heard Garth Puller, and I must agree with him because her better form is on the poly, but just work it out on that last start. I know she was thrashed. She was beaten 5.5 lengths, but work it out. She's now 3.5 kgs better off, plus Rachel Vinica's 1.5, which makes it 5 kgs. That's a lot of weight. So she was, a bit fractious when the starters said go as well last time out, so I'm going to say not herself on the day. But on the turf, around the turn at this track, she's only had 1 run, but she's got a good draw and she's got an informed jockey as well. So you could be onto the right horse here. I am going to be including 4 runners in the place accumulator just to try and treble up here. That's the way I'm seeing it, because I'm just a bit scared in this race not to, go out in such a small field. 7 runners, I'm going to suggest a field in the pick 6. I have to give the tick to number 1, Faza, on a recent form. Number 2, you mentioned, Wonderful, although we understand that form is better on the potty track, We'll see how she goes. I think she'll run a positive race. And then my top choice, your top choice being number 2, Miss Platina, my top choice is going to be number 6, Gorgeous Gal, Tony Rivelin's runner. She has been mostly racing at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. She only debuted at this course. But when she beat Perilla, who is a really nice horse from Dennis Bosch's yard, I thought that victory was commendable that day. Just the way Richard Ferree rode her with all the confidence. She likes to go and race up handy. But more importantly, pull out a last start while she was beaten by Blue Horizon. I think she's far better than that. Skytrix has won, Kisherton has won, so I'm going to say that she's my top choice. If the guys want to play a PA and they want to minimize the spend, I'd suggest they include your selection, number 2, and my selection, number 6, and maybe that's good enough.
That should be good enough for race number 3, and we better mention number 3, Zinekele. If Damien Pillay can get the run of the race and get Zinekele into a good rhythm, another runner who could come alive. But as you heard from Dees, number 2, Miss Platina, and we're going to be looking for a horse like number 6, Gorgeous Girl, to run an absolute cracker in race number 3.
Our race number 4 is Jackpot 1 Maiden, played over 1,600 meters, and also the Coastal Horse Care Unit are involved at the Pink Drive race meeting. They do a wonderful job. But before we get into race number 4, which is the start of Jackpot 1, we got an interview with Mr. Garth Puller. But Sheldon just telling me, we're just having a nice chat off here, that Garth, we need to see that dog of yours called Mr. Max in one of those interviews. I'd appreciate that.
Shiny Bob ran a very good race last time. Big horse. He's got to be competitive. The race is competitive. He's coming to himself. I don't quite know what distance he wants, but he's the kind of horse that is maturing nicely, and he's still a colt, so I've got room to geld him if I need.
No, Mr. Max there, Garth. Next time when they come for those interviews, have Mr. Max on hand. You're just telling me off air that Garth's got a lovely dog, very pleasant fella.
He's had a couple of pleasant fellas. That's not a dog, it's a lion. He's got a lion, Dees, and I promise you, nobody goes near the stables there. You've got to interview Garth in the rings and that. But Max is a character, and there's a story one day we'll tell about Max being led into the car, which will go viral.
But God, do us a favor. I mean, all the racing fans out there, I know that you're a horseman, you're an animal lover. Next time you do an interview, Just show us a pic of Max. Okay, let's get ready to race number 4. And this is over 1,600 meters. Now, the betting here, number 1 at 4-1, number 2 at 18-10, 4 at 6-1, 5 is at 28-10, and 6 at 8-1, 9 is at 8-1. Again, Sheldon, I like a horse a lot here. We liked Michael Roberts' horse earlier on today in the race meeting in race number 2. What's a Lady of Distinction? This horse, Freddie Slater, I'm going to say banker in all bets. I'm very strong on the horse. I watched him very closely last time out over that 1,400 meter trip when he was drawn 8 out of 12. We know that he was given a chance by Craig Zachley, and he was running on nicely behind JP's Palace. He was running around a bit in the closing stages of the race, but nothing that would have cost him the race. He was always going to run in the top 3. For me, it's a massive draw swing around 2, and he's had 3 runs at Hollywoodbets Greyville. All 3 have been around the turn. He cracks a good draw from where he was drawn last time out. I think 18-10 is generous. If you're looking for cover, the obvious horses are numbers 1 and 5, and then maybe even a few other runners like number 4. But I'm going to suggest to the guys out there, take a chance with me, with number 2, Freddie Slater.
I remember calling that last race of Freddie Slater's. He was at the back end of the field, and when they swept the turn, he came right up the outside. He was out the picture for a bit of a while, and he wasn't seeming to really put it in. Deezy was still learning the tricks of the trades, but as you mentioned, he'll be a lot more street-wise, or as they say, racing-wise these days. So number 2, Freddie Slater, from that 2 draw. I think if things pan out for him, he's going to be very, very difficult to beat. So I'm in your camp. Number 2, Freddie Slater. I think a horse who's just needed a bit of time to mature. And I think over the mile trip, we're going to see him on his A game. Number 5, One Scotch for me will be the Danger. Runner-up in both efforts to date. And a horse who has got a bit of a future after that 35 days since his last run. I think he'll win a race or 2. But number 2, Freddie Slater. And number 5, One Scotch. That'll be the top 2 selections from Deez and I. Next up will be race number 5, due off at 1,500 hours. And just looking at race number 5, do we have package here? Number 1, Neither Here Nor Other. And then also we have interviews with Stuart Ferry, Mark Dixon, and Tinny Prinsloo. Sit back and relax. 2. Fish Eagles, the closest rival in second at the 300, but neither here nor there's in a galloping mood past the 200. Fish Eagles going to try and run him down late the last 100 meters. Neither here nor there. Fish Eagles on the inside, still a length away, but neither here nor there. Started up his engine a long way out and wins it. From Fish Eagle, Andy Kugel and Sweeper Keeper fighting out the minor position.
Yeah, fighting on his day he can run, but obviously had his issues with breathing in the past, and bleeding, so he's a bit of a problem child, but he's fitting well at home. If all goes well, he's in that top race. He's got ability, so he's not without a shot. Yeah, listen, I'm straight. Him. I think 14's is his right trip. 12's a bit sharp, miles too far. So you've got a nice race here. Got a good draw. If he comes back to some of that previous form, which no reason why he shouldn't, back over the 14 whatever, and you're definitely be a big runner there.
Okay, yeah, Silver Savage is not the best handicapped horse in the world, winning as a late 3-year-old. But his best form obviously is at Scottsville up the straight. He should stay a mile, but every time we run him around the turn, he gets intimidated by other horses. He just throws a towel in. He's not the most straightforward animal in the world, but Cole knows him well from home, obviously, and we'll see if we can get him to the front and set his fractions from there and see what happens, basically. But as I say, he's not the bravest or the most genuine animal, so caution to all the guys, but hopeful rather than confident.
Yeah, Future Saint, I just bought it off the online sale. It's got a few issues. We've still been working on that. I think it's a bit soon to run him, but I just want to see where I'm going with him. That's why I put the claimer on, 4 kilos claim, 1,400, a bit shorter. So yeah, let's see how he goes. I would like to see improvement on him.
So, race number 5, looking at the betting. Number 1, neither here nor there, which will be my narrow first selection, is at 3 to 1. Number 14, I Salute You, from 9 to 2 down 4 to 1. And after that, you can get 7 to 1 and better. And then my roughie for the race is going to be number 3, Lord Wiley, at around 16 to 1 from the Wendy Whitehead stable.
Talk to me.
There we go. We haven't compared notes or anything. So we'll get to Lord Wiley in a moment and then we can dissect it. But number 1, neither here nor there. I remember calling his race last time out and I expected him to win last time. The money flooded onto him, down 5 to 2. And it was a workmanlike victory. He could do a carbon copy from that number 1 draw. He was off form for quite a while and he bounced back with a win.
Good win. Confident ride from Craig Zaki, as you mentioned. He can translate that polyform onto the turf. Stable's in excellent form. Can't discount his chances. A horse like number 7, All the Time, for Yogus Govender. 7-time winner, has done an excellent job throughout his career for the connections. He's won 3 times over the course and distance. Not to worry about the weight. He does carry the weight well. And this horse, Mar del Plata, from the stable of Tony Riverland. Having watched him, especially his last start over the sprint trip, I think it's about time they put him over a bit further. So 1,400 meters, the way he raced last time out, I think given a chance going the extra 200 meters with Marco van Rensburg up, a nice patient ride. He'll be riding him for the first time. If the 200 meters is going to be within his compass, stamina-wise, I think he will be a fast finisher here, number 11, Mar del Plata. But then we come back to Lord Wiley, who you mentioned could be the value in the race at around 16 to 1. What's it now? 305 days. And he's quite a tight horse when it comes to his ratings. As we mentioned, he seems to be airlocked at a certain mark in the 80s. But he's been given a kind drop at his recent starts to a 79, but his distance record is there to see. I think it's long overdue. I think Wendy Whitehead, just having a look at the way our horses have been performing, she started off her season quietly, but we know African horse sickness, vaccinations, breaks that after a long campaign during the end of last season. I've just been keeping a close eye on her runners, and she seems to be coming back to form now. Watch out, Wendy Whitehead's going to have one of the, a good day or a big day one of these days. I think number 3, Lord Wiley, could be a big value here.
100% right. And as I mentioned to you earlier on Lord Wiley, and we hadn't compared notes, he's a horse that I've caught right at the right times. I backed him the day one at 50 to 1. And then that day when they backed him from 14 to 1 down 7 to 1, and he beat Captain, who I was on the right wave that day. And I haven't touched him since. So it's all about the timing.
That's it.
And I think this is the time where he's going to shine, or at least run into the money.
I remember when he started off his career, Lyle Hudson actually rode him and he said, he's going to be a hard-knocking handicapper. He'll win his fair share. And you look at the horse now, he's already a 7-time winner. So that could be the value in the race at 16 to 1, number 3, Lord Wiley. Numbers in numerical order. I think 1, 3, 6 tea-time triple. I must agree with Stuart Ferry. That's trading at around 8 to 1. 1,400 meters will be ideal. 7 I'll include. So 1, 3, 7, 6, and horse number 11. And then one more runner is this horse Joshua Hot Snake. He's such a smart, beautiful horse. Just watch him in the parade ring. I continue to, sing his praises when it comes to the looks department. He's just a lovely looking horse, and he's another horse that's very capable.
Yes, also from the Wendy Whitehead stable. So Wendy holds a very strong hand here. And who knows, she could even get the exacta. We tipped the exacta the other day. I think it paid 143 Rand.
142 Rand. The young kid having his first winner, and Mike Stukok's runner that was coming from a form line behind Flying Pegasus. 142, unbelievable.
100%. So maybe a Wendy Whitehead exacta, but number 3, Lord Wiley at 16 to 1's the value. Joshua Hot Snake, tremendous form at the moment. He's been second. Calvin Abib knows him exceptionally well. And then let's look what else we can mention. Number 14, I Salute You, has it all to do from the draw, but certainly worth including. But when it comes down to the crunch, number 3, Lord Wiley, could end up being the value.
Okay, we're on to race number 6, 1900 meters, fillies and mares, 73 handicap. And before we touch on the field, let's go to that package.
Becomes a runner in Petit Vidot. Vion's Queen now comes gliding through between runners. Forward motion on the outside. Konda Ekukanyeni, hot strike, but it's Vion's Queen, a confident ride out here. Marco van Rensburg, a polished ride will win it. Forward motion coming out second best. Konda Ekukanyeni and Hot Strike third and fourth. Then came Escapologist.
Hot Strike, yes, she's seems to be at her best now as a 7-year-old. She's doing really well, consistent. Obviously limited, but you know she's in her own company, and Trip jockey knows her really well, so you know she's got to have a good each way chance again.
Konda Ekukanyeni is doing well. She ran a good race last time, post maiden. She should run well again. The race is competitive, but she's a galloper, and she should run a good race. I expect her to be in the frame.
Doctor's orders, yeah, 1-2 on the belt. We're on, albeit on the poly. She's gone up £12 for the 2 wins, which I suppose is more or less justified. Back on the turf, obviously it's a stronger field, but she's giving me the impression at home that she is improving this horse. She's quite tall and gangly, so I think she is improving. So look, we'll learn a lot on Sunday and take it from there really.
Rosie Future, like Way to Burn, got to be a little bit careful with her. She's also a little bit off her food. There's 1 or 2 viruses going around, and I just hope she hasn't got it. She came out and canted this morning, and I'll just monitor if she leaves again tomorrow. Then I might opt to take her out and give her a bit of time to get over it. She's got passionate owners that love her, and I don't want to set her back. We've waited a long time. She had a break, and we've waited a while.
Okay, that's it. 11 runners go to post. Betting tells a story. 2 at 11 to 2. 3 at 33 to 10, 4 at 5 to 1, 5 is at 4 to 1, 6 at 3 to 1, and 8 to 1 about number 10. There shouldn't be much that will separate numbers 3 and 6 here on that run behind Vihans Queen. I don't see it any different this time round. I think they'll be on top of each other. 33 to 10, 3 to 1 shows how tight they are in the betting market. So those two are obvious runners. Hot Strike, she seems to run exceptionally well for Serena Moodley. It's all about trying to catch her at the right time. And then Kisherton from the Garrett van Zyl stable with young Mr. Damien Pillay claiming the 4 kgs. The way she won last time out, they're just taking away that penalty, which was 2 kgs for winning, putting on the claim 4 with 62 on her back. And then I must commend Mark Dixon, the connections in the yard. They were very patient with this horse, number 4, Doctor's Orders, but it took a long time for that second win. The third win came quick, and she's now on a hat-trick. So although she seems to be better suited to the poly, I think that she could be a runner here. Those are going to be my numbers, Sheldon. If I had to pick one more runner, it'll be number 10, Ideal Gift.
There we go. So number 10, Ideal Gift, will be the inclusion. But number 3, Konda Ekukanyeni, and number 6, Forward Motion. Those are the 2 horses that will be looking to go hammer and tong down to the wire. And of course, you just got to be a little bit cautious with the comments from Garth Puller, temperatures, viruses. Says Rosie Future, I don't think 8 up. So Konda Ekukanyeni, hopefully all's in order. And after that 2-week third behind Vion's Queen, Forward Motion ran second. I don't think there'll be a lot to choose between them. So 3, Konda Ekukanyeni, and number 6, Forward Motion. Those will be the 2 horses that we'll be including. And then maybe a horse like number 5, Kiss Houghton, and 4, Doctor's Orders. And if you're looking for a spook, number 1, Giver's Grace could improve, but 3 and 6. As we move along to the main event of the day, as they call it, race number 7, the Pink Drive Michaelmas Handicap over 1900 meters. This is a handicap, non-black type, and no allowances in race number 7. However, we do have a rerun of Cape Eagle, so race number 7, Cape Eagle. We're going to take a look at this individual in action.
Jet to the outside, Ponte Pietro, Mucho De Niro's running a big race on the outside. Cape Eagle at the front, Atticus Finch on the inside. Mucho De Niro's burning up on the outside, but it's Cape Eagle from Mucho De Niro. Atticus Finch the inside. Cape Eagle though will soar to glory. Atticus Finch second, Master Fuego third, and Mucho De Niro ran fourth.
So there we've seen the best of Cape Eagle, and of course Cape Eagle is now a 7-year-old son of Vercingetorix. He's done exceptionally well for the connections. His last run a little bit sharp over the 1500 meter trip, when just over 4 lengths behind Gladiatorian. That was on the 15th of September. Now if you look at that run, number 6 Madison Valley comes right into the run because finished back in 5th behind Gladiatorian. So those horses are surely going to be there. And then you got the stable companion to Madison Valley, D's Mexican Pete, who ran second for Quasi for sure.
Yeah, this is it's a quality field with the scratching of number 1 with 6 runners that will go to post. Pink Drive Michaelmas handicap, 1900 meters. It's a good stake. 120,000 is what they're racing for. I just can't make sense of it all when it comes to where I'm going to go as my top choice. I've been through each horse. Number 2 Cape Eagle, we know how good he is, how versatile he is, how he loves racing at this course. The bang end he had to his season as a 6-year-old. He was in really good form. He carries the weight well. Twa Cut, Rachel Vinegar's mount, has been supported anti-post, so take note of that. Another horse that's capable. I think the smaller field could be the answer to him bouncing back to form. Mexican Pete and Madison Valley. Mexican Pete last start. I mean, where did that come from? Behind Quasi for sure. I mean, Quasi for sure looked a good thing on the day with the weights are structured, but I mean, the way this horse finished that day over 1200 meters, wow. And he's got 53.5 on his back. That's a lot of weight that Cape Eagle has to give him.
Yes, 100% right. A horse like Mexican Pete, he's a 4-year-old master of my fate. And if you look at his overall form, he's run behind some decent horses. We've seen Former Gear come out and frank the form line. And that run to Quasi for sure, even though going off at 33-1 over 1200 meters, we're not quite sure how good this horse is, Mexican Pete. So makes it very, very trappy race number 7. And with the scratching, it's D's mention of number 1, Golden Piece over 1900. I'm going to be narrowly in the camp of number 2, Cape Eagle. But you heard from D's, there's only 6 runners. So what we would suggest is perhaps go the field and look for the biggest result, or otherwise the favourite's going to come through and at least you will survive race number 7.
Race number 8, where we close things off, and it's going to be a fillies and mares 82 handicap over 1200 meters. And what is happening here is that we have a field of 11 runners, but we got our last package that we'll listen to and come back and do that final preview.
Very nice filly. I love this filly to bits. She's always been there. I think for the first time she's got a very smart draw. Draw 1. Cabello Mazziniani is riding her. I think she's a big runner, yeah. Yeah, One Smart Cookie also been working very well. First time she's going to Greyville now in a long time. See how she handles the turn. But a very smart filly. Yeah, I think she might be competitive, yeah.
One competitive, the other horse he seems to really like. So Tenny Prince has a strong hand here with number 1, Rugger Lover, and number 7, One Smart Cookie. Those will have obvious each-way claims. If you're running in the pick 6, I'm sure they'll be popular choices. Grape Shot is going to be a suggestion that I'm going to say do not exclude on the strength of the form lines that she brings into race from Gauteng. She's nicely drawn at 2. Magical View from the Mike Miller stable won an excellent race last time out. And then I'm going to leave possibly the best for last, because Sheldon Peters, whose dad is recovering from a recent procedure, an operation, and of course he did name Shanta's Pride. But Sheldon, you got some information for us that you'd like to pass on about this mare? Because in the way her career spanned out, let's put it this way, we know her issues with breathing, etc. And I spoke to your dad at length about it. If she didn't have breathing issues, she wouldn't be a 2-time winner. She could have been a 5-time winner. But that is one of her major issues, or stumbling blocks, her Achilles heel. And she's been a bit costly to follow of late and disappointing. And for those that win for her, she's let them down. But you want to suggest that this could be the race for her?
Well, this is definitely the race for her. If you look at her last run, it was a 96 handicap, so she took on Far Stronger on that occasion. And on that occasion, 2 weeks prior to that, she was supposed to run. She had a foot abscess, so she did have a slight setback. And if you look at the penultimate run, we tried the blinkers on her. They suggested putting blinkers on her. And young Richard Fourie, with the blinkers, jumped out, and she showed a lot more pace than we anticipated. They wanted to drop her out, give her a chance. The run prior to that, she jumped out, they dropped her out, but the inexperience of Damien Pillay, you can see from 12th to 2nd in a matter of 200-300 meters. So she used up the petrol, and then she couldn't breathe after that. I watched her last workout, which was on Thursday or Friday morning. Exceptional gallop. If she can't win on this occasion, Gavin Arena jumps aboard, the blinkers are there, the draw's there, and at 9-2, I've never had a bet on her properly. I'm having a bet on Shanta's Pride, and I'm hoping she can win the race, and I'll dedicate it to my dad after naming it after us. If things go wrong and she doesn't breathe, as she hasn't in the past, then obviously we're going to be in trouble. But she's run to Pretty Victory and some decent horses. She ran second to other horse Sharfolia earlier on. Yes. Course and distance, both her victories have come here, and I think Gavin Arena is going to give her a peach of a ride. Muzi jumped off last time, and he said she's not concentrating and trying. Put the blinkers on, give her a chance, and she'll win. She's down to a 82 handicap, and I think Gavin Arena is going to suit her, and I'm hoping that she can win this.
Well, you heard it from Sheldon. When you need it most could be the last race, and he's giving you the confidence from the stable and the reasoning as to why she's let the side down at her recent starts. And he's hoping that she can bounce back to her best. In fact, he's suggesting that 9-2 could be a decent price here about number 4, Shanta's Pride. And you can possibly take a chance now in your place accumulator, jackpot 2, maybe even your pick 6. But if you're not convinced with number 4, Shanta's Pride, the cover numbers there, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 7. It's been an absolute pleasure doing the show with Sheldon Peters on this Pink Drive race meeting. We wish the sponsors and everybody involved in this charity event all the best, Sheldon. And you'll be calling on the day?
Yes, I'll be calling on the day, so I'll be calling all 8 races home, and 16:45 will be the last race, and we'll be looking forward to the meeting on the Pink Drive race day. So all things being equal, it's going to be a wonderful day's racing.
Wonderful day's racing, and to you, the valued racing fan, on behalf of Sheldon Peters, Gallop TV, myself, Dees Dine, and have a blast. Find all the winners, and hopefully you turn out painting Hollywoodbets Greyville pink with all that cash in your wallet as you exit Hollywoodbets Greyville on Sunday. Take care. Salani Gashle.